It's not in the administration, I'm not in. It's online, but you can get printout as well, you know, the administration.
Oh, usually I know, I got spoiled. And you guys were printing out like Shelley's administrative report. In the past meetings, all the other stuff was printed out.
Oh,
For
no, we
us.
didn't do that. We were so flooded.
Yeah, well, that means.
Well, you know what, we start to get spoiled, we're like,
Yeah.
I can always pull it up on here.
Yeah.
I know.
So that means,
I have a copy to share.
because that makes it easier to.
no, I
Yeah.
know,
Next meeting, I gotcha.
That's okay.
all right, I know, we're like. You know, you start doing something and it's like,
Right.
oh, this is so
Yeah,
nice.
it
to
throws you
have.
off. I like to spoil my bitch.
That's it. Yeah, thank you. Is Larry coming? Excuse me.
Larry's gonna try to Zoom. He had to go out of town. Melinda is sick with the flu.
Oh, no.
She has.
She said she's gonna try. Up there's Larry.
Yeah, you can get out of the city, so.
Yeah. But, she said her husband's got the flu and
Mm,
she's not feeling great and
mhm,
Well, yeah, we prefer not to,
mhm.
share.
yeah,
Yeah. For sure.
Hey, Larry.
Hey, Bob. Sorry, I couldn't make it.
That's okay.
you're still with us.
Yeah, you're still here.
No.
How's yours? You just got the tail end stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, let me just try to call.
Well, the day before yesterday, nothing but hard, awful coughing. Like, yeah.
Well, if Chris is in, I'm gonna move on and those are the two things that I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'm gonna
So
schedule a
yesterday,
sidewalk.
we had the
Perfect.
Okay. Actually, some energy.
Oh, good.
And you did say Brian's coming, right?
Just been,
He told me today. He was
I
gonna
don't know,
be
I think I had something and then I got another.
Mm. My allergies and my stomach.
I can feel it.
You got all wish- Great. Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's meeting. I will see regular members Jennifer, Jolene, Christopher, Larry, and myself. And we'll go right into consideration of the minutes. Did anybody have any comments or questions on the minutes from 9:25?
No.
If not, can I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve regular meeting minutes from September 25th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
I-
Okay.
Aye.
And the site inspection report, submitted by, Jennifer for 217 West Shore Road. Any comments or questions? Can I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve, site inspection report for 217 West Shore Road, IW 24-57 from October 1st, submitted by Jennifer Bowe.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the site inspection report for 4 Perkins Road, for, modification, IW 2252 by Larry. Any comments or questions? Okay. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve site inspection report for 4 Perkins Road, IW 24-59 for modifications to IW 22-52 from October 1st, 2024, submitted by Larry Jones.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the site inspection report for 24 Rabbit Hill Roads, submitted by Jolene for 24 Rabbit Hill. Any comments or questions? And can I have a motion?
Motion to accept the inspection report for 24 Rabbit Hill, IW 24-60, submitted by Jolene Audette on October 2nd, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Great site inspection reports, as always. Thank you. Motion to approve subsequent business items. Okay, we'll move right on to pending applications to Lord Tree Experts for 217 West Shore Road for removal of the 2 oak trees. Did anybody have anything further on those trees that we need to do?
No, sadly.
Mm.
Okay. I would like to make a motion for somebody to accept this application. But when we were on site, I noticed, trees that were planted, trees that were not planted,
Oh, proposed.
and,
I saw it on Shelley's enforcement report.
right. So what I would like to do, is schedule a site visit for an inspection of the property of what has been approved in the past. And I would like, Paul Samansky to be on site and have, everything marked and staked of what was approved and where it's exactly planted on the plan. So with that being said, let's, somebody make a motion to approve the 2 oak trees, and then we will schedule the date for the site walk.
So, question,
Mhm.
if this application is for the oak trees
Mhm.
alone, so
Alone.
that's a standalone
That's correct.
motion to approve,
That's correct,
but then the other is a separate,
correct,
okay,
yes.
all right. Okay, motion is to approve application IW 24 57 submitted by Lord Tree Experts for BCLC at 217 West Shore Road for the removal of 2 oak trees. It was based on a plan, an original site plan. I forget what it was. Sorry. Yes, thank you. It was based on a reference to a site plan by Abelo Sherman Architects L 101-1 from August of 2022. I can't read the date. It's hard. Can you read that?
August 6th, 2022.
Okay, hey. Okay. This permit is valid for 2 years and is subject to the following conditions. 1, that the land use office be notified at least 48 hours prior to the commencement of work, so the wetlands enforcement officer can inspect and approve the erosion control measures. 2, that the property owner gives the contractor copies of both the motion of approval and approved plans prior to the commencement of work. And 3, the approval of this permit is conditioned upon performance and completion of all proposed activities and or improvements in totality to the satisfaction of the Inland Wetlands Commission. There shall not be any modification of any kind to the plans and or scope, sequence of the proposed activities and or improvements shown on the approved plans without prior approval of the Inland Wetlands Commission or its designee. There are no other conditions. In approving this permit application, the commission has considered all of the relevant criteria pursuant to sections 11.02, 11A, and 12.08 of the Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Regulations, and finds that the proposed regulated activities, as presented on the plans and conditioned herein, are not reasonably likely to lead to significant adverse impacts on any wetlands and watercourses.
All in favor?
Aye.
I would like to schedule 217. Can everybody do 3:30 on Tuesday? Because I'm gonna schedule
Yeah.
back to back.
Tuesday, the 15th.
Tuesday the 15th at 3:30 at 217 to start. Is that okay, Larry?
Yes, I think that's good for me, Bob.
You said 3:30?
3:30. You go, Joey?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
So we'll do 3:30. Okay, thank you. Okay, Beck, we will be tabling that. And then we will be moving right on to Rice 24 Rabbit Hill.
Ooh,
Why don't you folks come on up?
And Rice is misspelled again. It's RIESS. Oh, Reese, I'm pronouncing it incorrectly as well, but I did make note of the spelling.
I remember.
I've got some revised views from, comments made during the site inspection. Which
There you go.
I guess you couldn't make it to the site inspection, so I was doing it kind of secondhand. But, I did address all the questions that were on the. I brought up at the site visit. There's actually 4 different things. There's a question about where footing leader drains would come out from the addition. There's already a basement footing drain that comes underneath the deck and goes down towards the pond. It's got kind of dogleg in it, away from the septic area. So that was existing on the front end. But when I looked at the roof drainage, there is a drain that would have to kind of come off by the driveway and go underneath the deck, a new proposed roof drain, because there's a couple of gables that come together above that.
Whereabouts are you on that?
It's right underneath the deck, near the driveway, existing driveway.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
so
right
that
there.
roof drain right
Very
there.
4-inch PVC roof drain.
Yeah, there's one drain that would have to come out underneath the deck. Other drains, we talked about coming out on grade in the corners of the building,
Mhm.
but that's the only one that's in upland review area,
Okay,
which would handle a small portion of the roof in that corner. But the only other choice would be to discharge it into the driveway, which wouldn't really make a good idea.
Mhm.
I have no problem with that. Would you, need a splash pad at the end of that?
There's a lot of vegetation growing at the end of that deck.
Okay.
When you were out there, maybe you saw, it was very, very thick.
Okay.
And it's a very small amount of water coming off the roof.
Okay,
Fraction of a gallon per minute probably for flow.
Mhm.
So it's just basically a one place for a very small amount of rain.
Where that outlet, so that'll be within the area of disturbance, though, right?
It'll be in the regulated area, yes.
And within the, I guess my point being, will the vegetation still be there since that's the area of disturbance?
No,
Well, the deck is gonna remain as is for the time being.
Okay.
There's additions put on the house. But the deck is in pretty good shape
Yep.
and that doesn't really need to be affected in terms of work, but they could run a pipe underneath it.
Yeah,
Very
we won't be
easily.
bringing like machines around there or something like that.
No.
Okay,
well, plus where that exit is, it's on that very steep slope,
It is.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
goes right down towards the pond.
right?
But that's a very small amount of the roof that's covered by that, but just didn't have any other place to direct that drainage.
Mhm.
The next question at the site meeting was about the type of foundation plan.
Mhm.
There's an addition that's right adjacent to the driveway, which would be a full basement. It's gonna tie into the existing full basement that's there right now. And that's partially within the upland review area. So that small portion's a full basement, and then there's 2 other additions that would be on top of crawl spaces. They're actually outside the review area. So I went through the calculations on this, and there's not really a lot of room to lose soil on the lot.
Mhm.
If you've been there, you know, it's kind of constrained all the way around.
Mhm.
So the plan would be to truck off that excess site, soil from the site. I calculated a maximum of 200 yards of material coming off. Which is listed in the narrative description. About halfway down. in the,
oh, yeah, there you go.
So that would be the maximum amount of material removed would be about 200 cubic yards. That's from the basement area and the 2 crawl space areas.
So it'll be, as it's excavated, it'll be removed and not really particular stockpiled or there may be a little stockpile area,
Temporarily.
which you have right here.
Yeah, there's some temporary areas
Right.
that they could load material, drive around the house and bring it over to the
Right,
truck.
in a
site.
reasonable, right.
Yeah.
Typical fashion.
Yeah, because it's a tight, kind of a tight site to work in
Yes.
between plantings and everything around the outside. See, I did include a concrete washout area adjacent to the driveway on the way in.
Mhm.
That's a good convenient spot. They can wash that out. It's
Mhm.
protected outside the upland review area. And it's very flat right there next to the driveway,
Okay,
so it's not gonna want to migrate anyplace.
okay.
Yeah, I also included the fencing around the two big, oak trees that are there on the, toward the front of the house.
Mhm.
So that's included on there also, as well as mentioned in the sequence of construction. So prior to inspection from this commission, silt fence would be in place. The concrete washout area would be finished, and the trees would be fenced around before the notification to come out and take a look.
Okay. The only other question I have, Brian, is the stabilization of the site back in the springtime to get everything vegetated again.
Well, they'll probably have to, maybe do some re-raking, reseeding. If it's temporarily stabilized during the winter, it'll have to be, I'm sure, buffed up in the spring just to get everything, growing and so
Mhm.
forth. But the silt fence would remain in there until that vegetation is
established.
established.
Okay.
Until spring, yeah.
Yes,
So when you say fully stabilized, that infers,
yeah, that means grass growing,
Okay.
stable ground.
Okay,
So that's gotta stay in there until that's stabilized.
okay.
There's nothing beyond like grassy, but there's no like, I think plan or anything.
Not really, that's,
Yeah, it's pretty-
there's a lot of vegetation around the
Yeah.
outside, some nice trees, just basic grass around the house itself.
I don't think we need a maintenance plan, the zoning enforcement officer can check and make sure it's stabilized.
yeah, this is, it's really, I mean, it's right there at the driveway.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Larry, any questions?
No, Bob, I don't have any.
Chris? Jen?
Nope.
Okay. 2 years?
I know they want to get going pretty soon.
Okay. Okay, Jen, would you like to do this, please?
That we can reseed, if it's of approval.
No, it's in there, so it'll be, to stabilize, it's right here, the stabilization, so,
Yep.
Shelley could make sure that
Okay.
it's good.
Got it.
Yeah,
And-
motion to approve application IW 2460 submitted by C. Rice? Rice? Reese. Okay, for the reconstruction and expansion of existing building property at 24 Rabbit Hill Road. For reference plan. Remember, Brian E. Mack. Sheet 1 of 1.
Mhm.
Dated 10, revised 10/8/24.
Mhm.
This permit is valid for 2 years and is subject to the following conditions. 1, that the land use office be notified at least 48 hours prior to the commencement of work so that the wetlands enforcement officer can inspect and approve the erosion control measures. 2, that the property owner gives the contractor copies of both the motion of approval and approved plans prior to the commencement of work. 3, the approval of this permit is conditioned upon the performance and completion of all proposed activities and or improvements in totalities to the satisfaction of the Inland Wetland Commission. There shall not be any modification of any kind to the plans and or scope and sequence of the proposed activities and or improvements shown on the approved plans without prior approval of the Inland Wetlands Commission or its designee. There are no other conditions. In approving this permit application, the commission has considered all of the relevant criteria pursuant to sections 11.02, 11A, and 12.08 of the Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Regulations, and finds that the proposed regulated activities as presented on the plans and conditions herein are not reasonably likely to lead to significant adverse impacts on any wetlands and watercourses.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You're all set.
Great, thank you.
All right.
Okay, good to go. Thank you.
That's really interesting what you read. Is that available online or is that gonna be
I
sent
think
to
it
us?
is.
It'll be in your approval.
Okay,
It will be typed out and we'll send it to you. It'll be on OpenGov and we'll email it
Great.
as well.
great, great.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Have fun.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
appreciate it.
Enjoy.
Come visit again.
Okay, we have.
I'll see at least one of you, I guess, at some point.
Yes.
Thank you. How much longer it is really interesting to me. Are you guys here for a little?
We got about another 15, 20 minutes or so.
We're pretty efficient. Well, I mean, if people present their plans like very, clearly and completely, it's.
Yeah, my grandfather's house was 200 West Shore Road,
Oh,
where Christine Bradsky is. So it's
Oh.
interesting to hear about 217 now, right?
oh, opposite, yeah,
Anyway, I'll stick around and eavesdrop if I may.
of course.
Okay, we will move on to new applications. From Sam Saban, 142 Saturday Lane, IW 2464. I will accept this application tonight. Sam?
Evening.
Would you like to go through it with us and then we'll schedule a site walk?
Sure.
You
Sorry, I
wanna
couldn't
pull it
make it
up
in
on the
tonight.
screen?
What's that?
Would you like to pull it up on the screen?
Tonight I'm on my iPad, so I don't have that capability. Sorry, I
Okay, that's okay.
just be accepting tonight and do a more elaborate presentation. Sorry, I'm home with my boys tonight, but
Oh, that's okay. If you just want to run through it with us and then we'll schedule a site walk.
sure. So the goal of this project is just sediment removal of an existing pond, in-stream pond on Saturday Road. The owner is very adamant about maintaining the existing wildlife that's in the pond, specifically the frogs and the peepers. And so rather than a full-on dredging, which would be, too disruptive to that, we want to lower the water through an existing weir down to 2 or 3 feet, so we can basically dredge the west side of the pond. The east side of the pond has a large stand of existing Norway spruce, so it would be too difficult to do that without some sort of without any sophisticated machinery. So in this case, we'd be using long arm excavators to remove the sediment along that west shore, stockpile it, dewater it in the existing field, and then once it's dewatered, spread that in that existing field, reseed it with a conservation mix. The inlet where the stream is there's been a fair amount of scouring that's been happening. So we'd like to armor those banks where the inlet is and to armor it with a series of boulders on both sides of the brook, and then and plant that with some winterberry, some native shrubs to kind of armor that bank where the inlet is coming in, and then from there there's 2 things. There was one addendum that we added, which was there's 2 ponds on the property. This one is along Saturday Road. You could see it. The other one is kind of tucked in further into the property, just south of the house. And there's a big open wet meadow system where a number of invasives and alders have kind of popped, and black willows have popped up into that area, where we'd like to reduce the number of those the woody vegetation and return that I believe we had 25 feet of wet meadow and return that to a wet meadow conservation mix. For, you know, to encourage that. It's also, I mean, you know, to be honest, part of the goal is to preserve views to that pond, but as well as these you know, these owners, they plan on joining next meeting, and they, you know, might like to make a case that they love this property and want to be stewards to the land, so encourage this kind of diverse biohabitats. Then the second thing, which is not on the original plan as well, is a sediment basin at the mouth of that of the in-stream pond, that, which, going back to that previous discussion pond that I was discussing, and basically just having a spot that's just to the west of that small island that would be a sediment basin where we can have a manageable sediment basin that can be managed over time. The peak flows that we've been getting have been, you know, as you guys are well aware, just really wreaking havoc on a lot of these small streams, where we just get these immense mounds of sediment. And so you know, barring having to come back every few years and, you know, dewater, the hope would be we could have a sediment basin to just remove that the sediment buildup and reduce the need for you know, dredging or sediment removal in the future.
Okay, so if you could have that marked for us for the site walk of exactly where you want that.
Absolutely.
And you're gonna provide more detail on that at some point, right, Sam? As far as how you would create the sediment basin itself?
Yeah, the depth. Yep. Yeah, the depth. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Like marking like machine access, like how they're getting an excavator in, and like areas.
We'll need to know that.
Yep, okay.
So we will schedule a site walk. Jen, do you have any questions right now?
No.
Larry, do you have any questions right now?
Not right now, but I'm sure I'll have some.
Sure. No, this is it. I understand from the history of the property, it's a very sensitive site, just getting the house constructed. And so it's, you know, these owners are well aware of that and are very sensitive to just wanting to do things, you know, per the regulations. So.
Okay. Very good. All right, so what we'll do is we'll schedule a site walk for next Tuesday, the 15th, immediately following our first site walk at 3:30. So
about 4:30 or so?
Right around 4:30, Sam.
Okay, that works for me. Thank you.
Very good. We'll see you Tuesday.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good night.
You too.
Night.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. That was very new. Do we have any other business?
Business.
Okay. Enforcement?
She did the report. You all received the report.
Yeah, I did read those.
Okay.
Okay.
They were pretty simple and
Yeah.
straight.
Yeah.
Pretty
yeah,
straightforward.
So
So I have no question
I'll be attaching that to the minutes.
on those.
Thank you.
Questions on that. Okay, administrative business,
None.
communications,
None.
adjournment,
Motion to adjourn.
so moved. Okay,
There you go.
thank you, everybody.
Thanks for
Good
staying.
stuff.
Thank
Not all
you.
that easy.
Thanks for your hard work on all this, keeping our town solid.
Thank you.
All right. Nice.
Yeah, good night.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Larry.
Thanks, Larry.
Okay, good night, you guys.
Take care.
Good night.